Hi everybody, I'm going to post a fair bit today, so keep an eye on my community page, the shorts, and of course look out for today's video or videos. Okay, but you can go do all of that once we finished today's first discussion. But before I launch into Lily and Lily's birth, I want to go through Meghan's psyche or delusions or then flat out lies in order to create a baseline and background for you. You see, I'm convinced Meghan is a sociopath, or possibly even a typical female psychopath, both of whom have narcissistic tendencies and behaviors. And I'm convinced of this because of her pathological lying. You see, people are saying Meghan loves being a victim. In my opinion, this is wrong. Harry loves being a sad sack, a victim, a poor boy whose mommy left him alone to face the big bad world. That is Harry, not Meghan. Harry loves negative yet empathetic and sympathetic attention. For Meghan, however, everything is a competition and she must win. She somehow makes herself always win. So let me explain this. Catherine had severe, what we laypersons would call morning sickness during all three her pregnancies. Beatrice had her baby a month or couple of weeks early due to a few minor complications, and to top it all, here she had a woman as her first guest who also had issues, namely postpartum preeclampsia. So what did Meghan do? She quickly Googled it and found that it was a serious enough condition for her to have, and still compete with Catherine, Beatrice, and her guest. Okay? But she forgets that we, the public, are not stupid. In Harry's book, he said they were back home in 2 hours after she gave birth. Yeah, right. That is indeed BS. In no way on earth or in heaven or hell would they release a woman who had 2 epidurals within 2 hours, let alone with high blood pressure. But, okay, oops. She did not say it was with Archie. It was actually with Lily. Yeah, right. Lily was supposedly born on a Friday. She phoned the cottage hospital and recorded the call on Sunday morning. And guess what? No reception, a nurse, or the doctor on duty had any clue who Meghan Markle was, let alone that she gave birth there. Well, they even put her through to maternity, and she was definitely not there. So again, in Harry's book, he actually said how much calmer Lily's birth was. Well, if there were any complications, like preeclampsia, Meghan would still have been in hospital by Sunday. If she only developed it a day or two later, then she would have been back in hospital. And that, my dears, is truth and fact. What I was also told by a fairly reliable source is that Meghan was seen at a nearby hotel the weekend after Lily's supposed birth with Marcus Anderson and her crying makeup artist Daniel Martin. And she did not look like she recently had a baby. So when did the preeclampsia exactly start? Was her blood pressure high because she drank too much and not because she had a baby? I'm just asking. Okay, now remember those suicidal thoughts which she told Oprah all about? Oh, wow. How many times have we looked at the photographs and footage of Harry and Meghan at the Cirque du Soleil performance? And if you ask me, Harry looked like he could jump off the balcony or hang himself from the rafters. But in my opinion, Meghan looked a little smug, or rather victorious. In my opinion, had she been suicidal, she would not have been there at all. But, of course, we all know that Meghan thinks she is the second coming of Diana, Princess of Wales. And we remember that Diana threw herself down the stairs when she was pregnant with William. So Meghan just had to work suicide into one of her stories, didn't she? Anyway, remember the miscarriage, remember the essay. Then she was changing Archie's nappy, and then she was waiting for her friend Abigail Spencer, and then Abigail arrived, and then she fell to the floor. There are so many variations on that particular story that I cannot keep up. But then, miraculously, during the COVID pandemic, the hospital committed an illegal act and wrapped the whatever. I do not want to call it by its name, as I do not like putting such things out into the universe, okay? Especially because a friend of a friend is actually pregnant after a couple of miscarriages. So nothing negative out into the ether, okay? Anyway, they wrapped it up like some fish and chips in a parcel, and Harry and Meghan went and buried it under a banyan tree after he dug a hole with his bare hands. Well, that's a very nice, sad, romantic story, except that too would be an illegal act. It is indeed illegal to dispense or dispose of human waste and or remains in that way. Interesting that they chose the banyan tree. I'm willing to bet that they have one or two children's books at home featuring the banyan tree, because there are a whole number of those. There is Under the Banyan Tree, The Boy in the Banyan Tree, The Banyan Seed, The Banyan Tree Tales, The Snake in the Banyan Tree, The Mighty Banyan. Good golly, there are many, 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 many. So I guess they read one of those books to Archie at some point. Okay, now Meghan's lies are so plentiful. I'll sit here until tomorrow going through them all, but I'm finding those about her children the absolute worst, and potentially also the most harmful lies. Remember, Archie was not only born after 2 epidurals while his father was high on laughing gas and while his mother had high blood pressure, but he also had his cord around his neck, and all the time his father was telling his mother to push, 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 push. Yes, I guess he wanted her to strangle poor Archie. And anyway, Archie's first word was crocodile. He walked at 10 months and asked his great-grandmother for a waffle maker in 2020, 2021. So when he was only 1 or 2, you're right. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on and on. And oh yes, remember when Serena told Meghan about her daughter breaking her arm, and Meghan told her about Archie's room in Cape Town being on fire? Poor Archie. What else can befall this poor child? But you see, Meghan cannot have Chrissy Teigen have a miscarriage on her own. She has to have one as well. She can't have just one epidural like most other people. She must have two. So I'm pretty confident that you can see where I'm going with this. These lies are actually, at least some of them, pretty disgusting and so disrespectful for women who really are going through something like that or went through all these things. Another point I had been working towards: a woman and her husband, yes, I'm including Harry, who lies so much about their children, can also indeed lie about actually giving birth to their babies. My dear friends, Harry has become as big a liar and spin doctor as his wife. But yes, I'm putting most of the blame on her because I believe she is the writer or creator of all these fictitious stories, the creator of all the drama. Okay, guys, now I'm going to take a bit of a break. It's difficult at the moment to edit longer videos, so I'm going to break it up. And then I'll be back with my version of Lily's story. So until then, take care and stay safe. Bye.